I have clients wherein the water closet or the toilet should not face the east. It should
Okay.
face anywhere except the east.
Yes. Yeah.
So if I am sitting in a toilet and that's the east, my design should be able to flip
Okay.
the location
Yeah.
and
So
or reorganize the ensuite.
Oh, sweet.
Every year, thousands of people migrate to other countries in search for a better life.
Each one with a story to tell of courage and determination.
Adjusting to a new country is not that easy.
Here at Migrant Tribe, we honor you.
So join us as we share our stories from our journey down under.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Migrant Tribe Stories from Our Journey Down Under, episode 37. This is Joseph. Together with me are the other members of the tribe. There's a John. Hi, John. How you doing?
hello, how are we?
Good, good. And then there's a kangaroo. No, it's Joey. Hi, Joey. How you doing?
Good day, everyone.
Okay. So for today's topic,
All good.
nice to hear, Joey. So for today's topic, we'll be talking about building your home. Okay. So here's what you do. Okay. You go to YouTube, you type in how to build a home. Okay. And do you watch that video for 30 minutes? And then after watching it in 30 minutes, you hop onto your car and you drive off to Bunnings and buy everything that you need to build your house, and off you go. You start building your house, okay? And maybe in 2 weeks' time, you'll be done, okay? So, yep, so that's our episode for today. So, what do you think of that, guys? Wow, they're speechless. Okay, so I may have missed one or two things in building a house there, but you know what? We're very fortunate to have someone who will guide us through, help us in the journey of building our own home. Okay, so I'd like to call him in. He works for Sherridon Homes as a new home specialist. So a big Migrant Tribe welcome to Ramon Doval Santos. Hi, Ramon. How you doing?
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Ramon, and I'm honored to be in this site, and I'm happy to be a new brother of yours. And being a building consultant, I'll be happy to help you, assist you, guide you at no extra cost.
Thank you.
To accompany you in this journey. Building a home is the biggest investment after marrying your wives.
Wives, okay, yes, especially if they're a lot. Okay, so
yes.
okay, so
Because building a home will entail a lot of energy, a lot of finance resources. It takes 20, 30 years of paying mortgage.
mhm.
But there are secrets to it. There are shortcuts. But at the end of the day, it's just like getting married. You have to be married to the right person.
Correct. Okay, so I'm sure you're pretty impressed about my knowledge on how to build a house. So for the sake of other people out there, we're doing this. So first off, in choosing the right builder for you, like what are the top 3 things you should be considering?
Okay. Well, there are some aspects wherein you're building. Number 1, you have to choose the type of builder that will suit what you want. There are different builders, such as there are new homes builders,
Mhm.
there are renovators,
Mhm.
there are builders who are specializing in multi-dwelling. Just like if you have a piece of property, you want to build 2 or 3 or 4 houses in it.
Mhm.
So these are the different types of builders that you will encounter. And you also have to identify, or more or less find out from yourselves what type of a home you want to build, how expensive it is,
Mhm.
and what is, of course, the next thing is finding the right person or the consultant who will guide you.
Mhm.
Building is you may have the ideas, but when you don't have the right person to put it on paper and to make it a reality,
Mm-hmm.
then the whole piece of activity might be a failure. So it's just like you have identified the food that you like to be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next thing is you have to find the right chef who
Mm-hmm.
will listen to you, so he will be able to design your home according to your budget,
Mm-hmm.
according to your finances, and according to the land that you have. So we try to marry the three:
Mm-hmm.
the budget, the land, and what you want. So those three will give you a stable home. If the budget is over, then the home is not secure. So you will be always scrambling for cash
Mm-hmm.
to settle on the land or settle on the home. And the next thing maybe is to be, when you're looking for a builder,
Mm-hmm.
the builder that has a track record.
Okay.
Okay, there are many builders
how-
there
how-
who might have been in the industry for so long,
Mm-hmm.
but are a bit dodgy.
Yep.
And you don't want that you don't want to be in that situation. You also don't want to be with a very small builder,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to wake up one day finding out that this builder has just went bankrupt.
Yep.
So these are the
Having said that,
yes, John.
sorry. Having said that, because all of us wanting to build a house or a home of our own. Having said that, how to find or what are the qualities to find in order to have a good home specialist besides you when you decide to build a house or a home?
Okay, that's a good question. Number one, you have to get along with your consultant.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a consultant
Yeah.
who he listens, who will mitigate between you and your wife or you and your building partner, and he will be able to also listen to make what you want a reality, in the sense that it is feasible, it is workable. Sometimes we have grand ideas,
Mm-hmm.
but the pocket will not allow you to make it happen. And sometimes there are items that people want to have in a home, but you have to have a realistic consultant who will keep when you're building it, imagine a jar,
Mm-hmm.
cookie jar.
Mm-hmm.
If he keeps this cookie jar open, then you blow the budget. The consultant must be trustworthy enough to know when he has to keep that lid closed, so that next time you want something, he knows when to open it. Am I making sense?
Yeah. So you mean to say, is being a building specialist, it is not necessarily that you would like to have a deal closed, but it should be servicing what your clients needs or knowledge that they would like to know or understand, and at the same time you will guide them or tell them to have their own due diligence.
Yes. So in a nutshell, number one, your builder, you must be able to talk to your builder. You have to have that relationship. Number two, your
Yes.
builder must have the expertise. We have in this industry, unfortunately, people who think they are builders,
Yep.
but they used to be just from another industry. They were just good salesmen. You know, it's different when you know how to talk, but
Mm-hmm.
you have to be able to put it also on paper, on a plan, to
Mm-hmm.
make it a reality. And that builder must also have more or less the educational background. He must know the building guidelines, because if he just keeps on saying yes, 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 we can do that, when you go to the permit stage,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't happen. It cannot happen because it doesn't comply with the building code.
Okay. That's good.
So these are some of the things that you have to look for. Of
Mhm.
course, you can also look into the internet. What are the reviews on this person,
Yep.
or if he
Yep.
has a criminal record, you know. But mind you, the internet is a highway of information. You also have to have uh, that power to understand that. Look, an iPhone. Everyone likes an iPhone. Everyone likes an Samsung.
Yep.
But if you look at the reviews, you read the reviews on iPhone, it's crap. If you read the reviews on Samsung, it's crap.
Mhm.
Then what I'm trying to say here is you have to have that balance to see what is the truth.
Okay.
Would you agree that in terms in construction, there's few things you need to consider, which is confidence, certainty, and cost value of the project. By the way, just to give you an idea, I'm a construction estimator. So we actually help out clients to have a cost value of their project. But before that, we work with a consultant, like an architect, to come up with a design that is actually going to meet the expected budget. So, what is your take on having a third party like us, or anyone out there that's helping the client before you even touch the plans that has been prepared by by the architect, or shall I say, there's a glance idea already how much it costs for to build it?
Well, that's a good question. That's a good question. Uh, with the industry where I am at, I am in the new home sales.
Mhm.
Okay. Usually, when clients go to us, they have no idea of what they want. They don't have an idea of how much they can afford, or they have little idea of both.
Mhm.
So, if you are building a knockdown rebuild job, so meaning to say you have an old home, they demolish the home, you're
Renovate,
starting
yep.
from scratch.
Yep.
These are the types of builds wherein they have to get usually an experienced consultant and an architect to design the home from ground zero. With the new home sales, we have designs, we have books wherein you can choose different designs
Mhm.
that suit your
layout.
land, your layout. So our duty of care is, number one, to identify what the client wants, whether he wants to build a single story, he wants to build a double story, how many bedrooms, and which location they want to build. The
Okay.
next thing is we have to introduce them to a broker. So the broker will
Mortgage broker.
identify
Yep.
their borrowing capacity. So from there,
Yeah.
if we know their borrowing capacity, then we can help them identify if their budget can afford to be in a certain location and what type of home they can afford. Is it a single story or a double story? Many people want to live in Turak, so do I, but I cannot afford it. So in that sense, part of the responsibility of, or duty of care of, the consultant is to guide the client. If your budget is, let's say, 650 and you want to be in a location near the schools, near shopping centers, not too far from how
The
far you
freeway,
want to be from the city, the freeway, all of this.
Yep.
That's the job of the consultant. He will give you ideas of locations, land availability, and then marry the home that you like to match the budget. So going back, estimators, definitely we need estimators. With the new home sales, we have designs, but once they tweak the design, we estimate it, but we have to go to a licensed or a more expert estimator to give us real fixed site cost, fixed pricing, so that there are no surprises.
Okay. Good. Okay. So another question is, of course, which is very critical as well, is choosing the right block of land. So what are sometimes what people tend to forget when choosing the right block of land to what do they overlook in choosing the right block of land to build on?
Yeah, that's a very good question. When choosing a block of land,
Mm-hmm.
as a consultant, for example, we have to identify the location. So
Yep.
if they say in the area of the west, we're in the west, maybe the suburb of Werribee,
Mm-hmm.
then we now find out what type of home you want. There are single-story homes that require a single-car garage home, a double-car garage home,
Mm-hmm.
and there are different blocks available. So if you're building a single-car garage home,
Mm-hmm.
you may be able to fit the home on an 8.5 wide block. Then we have to identify the length and size of your home, so you don't end up buying a block of land that is short. If you're buying a double car garage home, the minimum width block that you need would be 12.5. In some estates, you are allowed to build boundary to boundary, so you can end up with a 10.5 wide block. I had clients, we have designs that fit on a 10.5 wide block by 28 long. So 10.5 wide by 28 long. So a 10.5 wide block is that it's boundary to boundary, meaning to say the side of the front is against the wall or the fence. But just like what happened to my client, the estate does not allow a boundary to boundary. So when buying a block in construction, you need your garage can be flush to the fence, and you need on the other side 1.15 meters from the fence. So that means your windows will have at least 1.15 meters
Setback.
and 1.2 or 1.5 on the other side. So the airflow can be will pass the building guidelines. The next thing is when you're buying a block, your garage usually under the average estates, your garage usually is required to be 5.5 meters away from the driveway. So the driveway, so if this is the garage,
Yep.
this should be 5.5 from the end of your land, and the front wall of your home should be at least 4 meters. In some estates, when buying land, again, you have to read the design guidelines of the estate. The estate is, when you sign a land contract with an estate or buy land in an area wherein the council will dictate what you can or cannot build on that block. So you don't want to buy land and go to a builder wherein you want to build a double story on that block, which is not allowed. Then what do? You have to sell your land and look for a new block.
Exactly.
Yes. So also, so there are what we call rules in building. The garage should be 5.5 from the front. Your front wall has to be 4 meters, and the rear must be at least 3 meters from the fence, your rear fence. Now, in some estates, there is what you call a Memorandum of Common Provisions, or MPC. That MPC will show where your house can sit, or it's like a footprint. If this is the home,
Yes.
how much, and this is the garage, this should be 5.5, this is 4, this should be 3. The MPC, or the Memorandum of Common Provision, will tell you what is the building area. So in some estates, this rear, they allow 2 meters, but commonly you need 3 meters. Okay, the other thing is you also have to look into the orientation of the sun,
Yes.
because some estates require your non-habitable areas, such as your alfresco
Mm-hmm.
and your kitchen, to be either, if it is north facing, it has to be on the eastern side. So, for example, this is north,
Mm-hmm.
this is south, this is west, this is east, and your alfresco is in here. Your builder, the type of home that you chose has the alfresco here. Your builder must be able to flip the rear of your home to comply. Otherwise, if you go to the,
For
sign
approval.
a contract and do everything,
Mm-hmm.
your home with that alfresco in here and the kitchen in here will never get a building permit.
Yeah.
So these are the things that you really need to consider, not just simply buying a block.
Yes. Because most people know they
So
just probably do
granting-
feng shui.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's also a good point. The feng shui side,
Yes.
your builder or your consultant must embrace this.
Uh-huh.
Are you there? Sorry.
Yes. We
Yeah, so
lost
someone is
granting
calling
that,
me.
the video. Yep.
oh,
Yeah, I think someone was calling me. Sorry.
Okay, there you go.
I'm
Yeah.
back.
Okay, let's continue.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So-
go ahead.
With the feng shui,
yeah.
some consultants do not believe or do not embrace this,
Uh-huh.
but that's when you have to understand or make your consultant understand your needs. If you are into feng shui, the
Superstitious. Yeah.
consultant must know it, because together you have to design your home to suit what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes when the location is quite complicated and you are really focused on feng shui
Mm-hmm.
or feng shui, as they say,
Yep.
you might be better off building with a custom builder. I have clients wherein the water closet or the toilet should not face the east. It should
Okay.
face anywhere except the east.
East. Yeah.
So if I am sitting in a toilet and that's the east, my design should be able to flip
Okay.
the location.
Yeah.
And
So,
or reorganize the ensuite.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So granting that we have the land, the funding, and the design that we have, assuming if I am your client. So if I have the land, the funding, and the design ready, what are the common reasons for the delay of the construction?
Okay. Assuming in your question you have the design, which is not could be possibly from the consultant or the builder.
Approved already by the company.
By the company, approved by council. What are the delays
Yeah, in the construction. And,
in the construction? Okay, that's a good question. In construction, before we are able to build your home, there are a few things that we need to submit to, number one, to the estate, if you bought it in an estate.
Mhm.
Number two, to the council. So these two institutions will give us the go signal to build. So sometimes we design the home according to what we know will pass the building code and passes what suits the clients. But at the end of the day, it is the council and the estate who will say these things need to be amended. Like you chose a particular color for your facade in your roof, and so happened that three houses next door will have the same look of the facade.
Mhm.
Then they will say you might need to change the color of this one,
Oh,
or
okay.
change the facade itself. So those are possible designs. Number two, possible delays would be when you bought the block and when we apply the permit, the engineering information is not exactly the same as what the surveyors were able to gather during the soil and survey. So when you buy a block, especially nowadays, blocks are being sold. You can only build 1 year or 2 years from today. I have clients who own blocks that will title in 2023. Okay, so some of them will have what we call the plan of subdivision, which shows the boundaries of your home, the degrees on what is the shape, and the engineering. The engineering shows the level of the block and where the driveway is. It sometimes shows where the sewers will be located. But for blocks which are not complete, in other words, titling in 2023, when you bought the block, it is just piece of grass. There are no roads, no plumbing, no sewers, no nothing. So when you get to the building permit stage and when the land titles, we find out that with the information and data that we had does not match anymore with what is on site. Meaning to say, suddenly your block had an easement. An easement is like a sewer at the rear. So we need now to move your house farther to the sewer, or shorten your home so that if it is sitting on the sewer, we need to shorten it so you will get the building permit. So those are the simple delays. And obviously today we just had a lockdown. Building constructions are locked down.
Fewer people can work. Correct. Yep.
No people can work. Neither can you move into your new home, because you haven't had your final inspection. So those are some delays. Some other delays are industrial issues like what we have now. We had the massive rally of the workers.
Yep.
We also have delays for weather. Also delays for holidays.
Yep.
So these are all in the housing industry contract. So if the builder can build your home, let's say a single story in 5 months, they have to give something like additional days. Usually it is between 200 to 280 days from build start. So if a builder says we can build it in... I'm sorry?
Well, you've indicated the timeline of the construction. Obviously, there's unforeseen days that there would be delays. I mean, you have to account for that. And also, let's say, inclement weather, which is, I mean, there's no golden rule that we can, we don't have a crystal ball to predict that. So that's another thing. So there's couple of issues that can happen. But I think, would you agree that it's really when you know all the stakeholders involved? When I say stakeholders, you got your consultants, you got, whoever consultants you involve, you got also your builder to help you out, and even the council. You don't have a control much on the council, but at least, when you have those relationships in place, I think it smoothens the process. Is that right?
Yes, that's very true. Now, to allay fears, if your building contract states that the house should be finished in 280 days and the builder fails to finish the home, in the contract there is a penalty clause. You will be paid X amount, between $200 to $250 a week. And that works the same if the client cannot pay on time. There is also, a corresponding, it works both ways. But in reality, on the ground, sabi nga ni Mayor Isko, real talk tayo. A home without, during no pandemic, a standard home, a single story should be finished between 4.5 to 5 months.
Okay.
Well,
A double
actually,
story. Yes, go on.
in case our conversation ends, okay? Because I
Yep.
think we're just getting into more details. I think we might be able to further continue a little bit. Is that right, Joseph? We
Yeah,
can
sure,
connect again.
Last
Not
question.
a problem.
Last question.
Yes. So in a nutshell, are there any? Yeah, I just wanted to say.
Yep.
Everything is on. You can also go to the website of the Housing Industry Authority or the Master Builders.
Master builders.
You can
Okay.
have as a copy of the standard building contract.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll have a contract available.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that has to be added or like an amendment would be your plans.
Okay. So we'll be posting the link to those website, Master Builders. Okay.
Yes, Master Builders and HIA or Housing Industry Authority.
Okay. Housing
Any
industry.
tips that you would recommend so the all the viewers would expect at least to actually control the budget? Because oftentimes whatever you think about when you get to your mortgage, right, fees, you think that this is the budget, I mean the value that you're willing to pay, but obviously it's more oftentimes it goes over budget. What can you suggest?
Okay, I usually have a real talk with the client, and I also have, if they allow me, they have to. In most often than not, with our company, we have a finance construction expert. So these people help us assess how much is the maximum borrowing capacity of the client. So once we know the maximum borrowing capacity of the client, we now, as a duty of care, we have to find out from the client what is their, affordable budget.
Mm-hmm.
You do not want your client to work 2 jobs or 3 jobs
Just to afford
just to pay the mortgage.
Of
We
course.
want clients to enjoy life, to go on holidays.
Of course.
So, well, John would know that. I'm the type of client consultant who tells my clients, I am not Mr. McDonald's. I do not go upsize.
That's good.
Is it medium, large, small?
That's good.
It is
one.
always what you actually want to achieve,
Mhm.
and what is there is a low, high, and medium. We stay within a certain range, and that is where we agree to stay. If you blow the budget, it is still my duty of care to tell you there is a cheaper version of doing this, and there is a more expensive way of doing this. It is up to you now to tell me how you want to
Want
go.
to do it. Okay. Very, very good. Very good. That's a great advice. So we'll be posting your contact details on our
Oh, thank you.
on the description of this video. So for those people who might be interested in building their homes through you. So again, thank you, Ramon. A lot of great advice you've given us, and hopefully in future episodes, probably on a slightly different topic, we hope we can invite you again.
Yes,
and-
I'll be happy to help. Look, give me a call or email me. You don't necessarily have to build with me. We all came here in this country as migrants. We know how it is. So my hand is open, always open to help.
Okay, so to kind of end up, so thank you again, Ramon, for being with us today with the Migrant Tribe. So if there's nothing else, thank you to our viewers. Continue watching us every Tuesday. We come up with new videos, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Okay, see you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.